In the crazy world of TV premieres, especially over this past week, this may be the more forgotten one of the bunch, but please do not overlook this nostalgia. Season 2 of the iCarly revival has all 10 episodes available for you to stream on Paramount Plus right now. It once again stars Miranda Cosgrove, Trainor, Nathan Kress, and Jeanette McCurdy. Sam's presence is dearly missed in this sitcom still. And basically this picks up right after the first season ended where it left off, with Carly refocusing her attention on her friends and family following her romantic complications, all while working to boost her revived web channel. It's not so much a website anymore. iCarly.com does not exist on this sitcom. It's more so like Instagram live streams are what the iCarly episodes have become. And modernizing it that way, I think is very clever. But again, I feel like I should preface this by saying it. I've already talked about season 1 on the channel a year ago. And if you guys remember, one of my biggest complaints about that initial season was that I don't really think it focused enough on the webcaster version of Carly Shay. And this season certainly places a lot more attention on the webcasting version of Carly herself. But again, it just kind of left me wanting more. This isn't to say that the performances in this series are bad. I think all of our returning actors are having tons of fun. Trainor is the big standout in my opinion. Miranda Cosgrove and Nathan Kress are clearly having a blast playing these characters once again. They have stellar chemistry with one another. Our newcomers as well, Laci, Mosley, Jaidyn, Triplett, they're both having a blast with these actors. And yeah, we do get a lot of returning cameos. My favorite episode this season, I feel like, was episode 2 with the return of Lubert as a lawyer, basically suing Carly for all of the emotional and physical trauma that she caused him at a younger age. And let's just say that the comedic arc of Lubert in that episode, I dare not spoil anything, but it is just... I mean, he just plays it so well. It is great comedic timing. And this is basically spoiled in the trailer, but Josh Peck is a special guest star reuniting with Miranda Cosgrove after the huge success of Drake and Josh, which was an even bigger childhood guilty pleasure of mine. I thought that show was hilarious, and I still find it funny. Josh Peck plays Paul, who is Carly's manager who carried over from her escapades in Italy, which leads to some conflicts between him and Nathan Kress, and I'm sure those two were so excited to work with one another. Clearly, they are just poking so much fun at each other. And thank goodness it wasn't a one-off with Josh Peck. That's not the only episode that you see him. And I certainly hope that it's not the last that we'll see of Josh Peck in this series, because I feel like, especially in the acting department, he really, really brought this series to a higher standard. Because this is where my issues start to come in. I was really starting to notice that a lot of this writing is very much on the nose. And I don't know if I said this in my initial review or not, but I really, really, really started to notice it. And I'm like, you don't really have to explain a ton. And this is also where I get that this is a sitcom, but I feel like if the show is going to grow up from its predecessor, I think eliminating the laugh track in the background, just telling the audience what's funny, I think that would really speak volumes about the trust that these screenwriters have in their audience. Because sure enough, the laugh track is still in there, and it's trying to tell us what's funny. The reason why Schitt's Creek is such a genius show is because it places so much trust in the viewer. Go back and watch all 6 seasons of Schitt's Creek. They're somewhere on Netflix. There is not a single laugh track. Not at all. These laugh tracks are trying to sell that every other line in this show just is the funniest thing ever. And in reality, I mean, I know these actors are hilarious in their own right. I just didn't really think the writing was all that funny this season. And not to mention, there's a couple of just plain old what the f*** moments thrown in the mix. One of whom involves Josh Peck's character, and basically for team building purposes, Carly takes Paul and Freddie to an escape room. Now, I for one dig me escape rooms. I mean, in person, those are some of the most fun you could ever have. But don't watch the movie that's built around escape room, because that's just, I mean, it's terrible. Matter of fact, I think there's 2 of them. I can't even remember. And putting an escape room in a sitcom is nothing new. But I feel like if you've been watching iCarly for a long time like I have, you'll remember that Carly is extremely claustrophobic. And the first time that that's revealed, it works. Sam and her mom have to work together to free Carly out of that elevator. But this time around, Carly willingly goes into the escape room in order to teach Paul and Freddie a lesson. If you guys remember, Carly was always billed as the intelligent one of the trio. But this time around, either she is just incredibly brave, willing to put her life in danger for these two blokes, or the writers just completely forgot that Carly was claustrophobic and they were like, oh, crud, now we have to put this Easter egg in there. And I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of that dynamic. And don't get me wrong, I love Josh Peck in that episode. Him and Nathan Kress have brilliant comedic timing. And trust me, I'm not one to get into spoilers or anything like that, but I feel like the season finale, which is a lot of fun with some really nice throwbacks to the 1970s in the costume design, it comes up on the most predictable cliffhanger you could ever imagine. And that cliffhanger made me realize that I was completely right in the series' existence. I feel like they're heading somewhere with a couple of these characters, and basically with that final blackout, that prediction was proven completely right, basically. So while I didn't necessarily hate this season, I still had fun watching it. It's a fun little burst of nostalgia for a little while. I'm slowly starting to see more and more the issues seeping through the cracks. But I feel like when your biggest development is Spencer reimagining the Groovy Smoothie into his own artistic masterpiece of a restaurant, I don't know, guys. This season was pretty uneventful aside from the finale. Again, still very fun. It's on Paramount Plus if you'd like to check it out. I'm going to give iCarly Season 2 a B-. But there is so much other television that we can discuss along the way. This is just one of the many shows that's premiering over the summer. I know the craze of Stranger Things is going on strong. The Boys Season 3 just premiered. And I have not watched either one of those shows, so feel free to let me know down in the comments which big show you'd like to see me talk about next. It could be anything, really. Stranger Things, The Boys, Daredevil. I've been meaning to give that a rewatch, and I've been meaning to want to talk about that ever since he made that cameo in No Way Home. So let me know what you guys would like to see down in the comment section below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell as hard as you possibly can, and feel free to hit that like button on your way out if you enjoyed what you saw today. This is all tremendous help in growing this community that we've already built together. And stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. I'm gonna look to see Crimes of the Future tomorrow night in theaters at the time of recording. Big month of June lined up with Jurassic World Dominion as well as Lightyear to look forward to. The Black Phone, Elvis by Baz Luhrmann is hitting theaters at the end of the month. Oh man, there's a lot to discuss, my friends. But y'all are the best. Thank you all so very much for continuing to take this journey in movies and all things entertainment alongside me. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence!